2021 Everglades Challenge. Smaller fleet this year, but I'm going to do the traditional checking out the fleet here. Down here at the sailboat end. Sailboats usually favor this right hand end of the beach because just off to my right there's a shallow spot, and so they don't have to go through that. Right over there, that's a shallow spot. The kayakers can go over it, but sailboats, they don't like going that shallow, so they tend to migrate down towards this end of the beach. And the paddle craft will be up at the other end because the wind's coming out of the east, so we want to be as far up to the east as possible to allow for the crosswind. It's coming tomorrow. Now a lot of people are choosing the plan B, so I guess they put an optional plan B out there, so some people are gonna skip Tampa Bay, but that's my favorite part of the race to start. Anyhow, bunch of old returns here, old favorites. SpongeBob's always been out here. I see many boats that I've seen year and year again. It's always exciting the day before the race. It's like my favorite time. Everybody's kind of checking and double checking, rig tension, making sure that halyard's tied on good, making sure everything's going to be secure, adding or dropping the last minute things. Low. Psyching themselves up for a big time, what I like to call the big dance down the coast. We're gonna leave tomorrow in Tampa Bay here, and then some of us will be done in 2 days. I'm hoping to be 5.5, and you get, I think, 7 days, 8 days maybe. So most everybody finishes by the end in time, but the award ceremony is on Saturday, so some people finish after the award ceremony. There's Mike Dunlap, the other supper, and he's not got his board down here yet. He's still debating what he's gonna do, and I'm gonna go put my board right over here next to all these other hand paddlers and get me a spot on the beach and go see some friends. There's a rocket ship right there. This is a inflatable portable catamaran. Looks like there's no section longer than about 6 feet. And we got these 2 little dinghies. These things are pretty cool. This one from Wisconsin. Got a little pig on the front. Man, looks like it's barbecue. I like the way this boat's laid out. They got a nice little cockpit area up there with some electronics and everything, protected from the elements. You got his dual anchor set up there and battened down really good and strong. You even got the rum locker down there. Important on any adventure like this, you gotta have a rum locker.
Whatever. We have also had a place at Chickee too where some people came in and she was talking about the mud. That mud is treacherous. Paula is doing the roll call right now.
Little epic section here. Tampa Bay was really rolling out there. Had to paddle on my knees pretty good bit. Did less than 2 miles an hour for a lot of it, but 3 hours in, made it across. First bridge. Getting ready to head on down into the interior now, so it should be a lot flatter. We're 26 miles in. Almost 27. This is like my first stopping spot. I try to stop here every time I come through because it's just such a nice little beachy area. So I finally got through Sarasota. Man, what a bear that was. Tampa Bay was tough. Sarasota was tough. Hoping this wind's supposed to shift around here in another hour or two. Come from behind, so I should have some downwind action coming up. But the tide finally changed. I was going in against the tide there for a while and not making very good progress with the wind and the tide, side chop, Everglades challenge stuff. But yeah, I like this little island here. This is the last bridge for a while. Then we head on down towards heading on down towards Venice, where I'll pick up the Venice Canal, probably around dark or a little bit dark 30, and then get on into checkpoint 1, hopefully before midnight. Water drive! $27 miles to checkpoint 1. I'll put me in there pretty late, probably after midnight. And I gotta go another hour past there to Dog Island, an hour and a half to my campsite. Can't really sleep in checkpoint 1, or any of the checkpoints for that matter. They're too noisy. It's getting closer to dark. Got all my lights out. My clear glasses on. Loving the colors up there in the sky there. Been seeing lots of birds today. Saw some spoonbills, I always like seeing them. And then all the other usual wading birds that we see all the time. But what a nice, quieter afternoon than it was this morning. And I'm making my way towards Venice. And then I'll do the Venice Canal, which is about 10 miles long, I think. I don't know. And then I got about 25 miles left to go to checkpoint 1. Tribe name? Argonaut. Argonaut. You? Conchistador.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I got into camp last night, 5:30 in the morning. It's now 8, and the ospreys won't let me sleep, so there's a couple of nests here on this island. We got a nice, pretty nice site here. I'm protected from the wind. The wind's howling out there. So I'm supposed to die off a little at 10. I'm gonna look at maybe going, but I'm also considering not going. It's might be too windy. I got an 8-mile stretch of open water. It's pretty treacherous even when it's nice, and no race is worth dying for. So I'm gonna get out there this morning and paddle over to the crossing, and then I'll make up my mind from there. Not real happy about it, but it is what it is. Apparently Mike spent the night out here on this same island as I did, and he left. He probably got here about midnight or earlier, so he left out here earlier. I don't know when he left, but he forgot to turn his tracker on, so I hope he figures that out sometime today. He was like right up in that corner there. I saw his tent last night, and it's not looking too bad right now. The wind's died down a little bit. We're gonna go scout it out and see if it's worth taking this crossing. So this is going better than I expected. It's actually going pretty fast, and I had to go about, oh, I don't know, an extra mile just so I wouldn't have a really hard water. And now I'm on the downwind leg, and that's not too bad. That's Pine Island up ahead of me there. I'm almost across. I got another mile or two. And then that's it for the really rough stuff until, oh, I don't know, until something else. But this is one of the big crossings in the Everglades Challenge. You got Tampa Bay, you got Charlotte Harbor, which is this, and then you got Florida Bay. A little bit of boat traffic out here today. Just to make things a little interesting. It's got to be a rough ride in that thing. Hey! What's up? Pass that antenna down there. Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit past that antenna. Yeah. I'm aiming for the antenna right now. Yeah, the second one, yeah. Good luck. That's Bermuda Boy on his windsurfer rig. Got a starboard windsurf rig. He's having a good day today. Easy sailing. Perfect angle. Nice little bonnet head there. Coming up on the end of the second day. Somehow I cut out the mic. Not sure exactly where he is, but he's pretty close. So I think he must have had a hard time. I think he went down the Mount Lachey side, and I went down the Pine Island side. I think Pine Island paid off today. It was a mostly downwinder, so that was pretty nice. And I'm glad I checked it out because it was sounding pretty scary in camp this morning, but turned out to be a rather nice day. I got to get under the bridge here, and right now it's really beating me up, so gotta get on it and try to get out there before that tide changes. It's 5:45 on day 3. Getting started. Had a great night's sleep last night. It's a little cold, but still dark. Mike's ahead of me a little bit. He paddled through the night. I needed the rest. So today's a new day. Gonna head down the outside. Nice offshore wind, so it should be pretty flat paddle, and looking forward to making some progress down towards Marco. Hopefully get to Marco tonight. So I'm going down the coast of Naples. This seems like it takes forever. You can see buildings up there, buildings all the way back there. Just one apartment, condo, hotel to the next. Like about, let's see, I got 20 miles in. I still got another 6 or 7 miles to go before I get away from all the hotels for a little bit. Pretty crazy. Wind's blowing pretty hard. Been having a knee paddle a lot, which I don't really like, but it is what it is. And coming up on a little marina here, and then the Naples Pier, and then I'll go into Gordon Pass probably. Get off my butt and get on my feet again. Alright, we're going down Key Island. It's a beautiful island. I think most of it's a state park, undeveloped. There's a couple of houses at one end and maybe a couple at the other. I don't know, but there's pretty much an undeveloped island. There's a dolphin right there. There's a little pond of dolphins right here that I'm amongst. One of the things I forgot to mention, all the wildlife sightings that I've had so far on this trip. I saw a nice pod of about 6 dolphins that followed me for a little bit. Scared a manatee, of course. Probably 4 or 5 manatees, not too many, along the way. Stingrays. Nice big black tip swam in front of me yesterday over by Pine Island. And the big nurse shark. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, I was paddling one night and the dolphin slapped his tail at me. That was pretty cool. It was like totally dark. I guess I woke them up or surprised them. They were about 20 feet away. And he just slapped the tail real hard like a beaver slap. Also saw a bald eagle a little while ago here on Keewatin Island. Keewatin's covered up with birds. Really cool, all different kinds of birds you see flying on the shore and nesting and all that. So there's another water triber up there, pulled over on Keewatin for a minute, taking a break or something, and looking at his map. It looks like I'm about 6 miles from Hamburger Joint. Hamburger Joint's halfway, so I'm looking forward to that, the traditional halfway burger. Y'all doing all right?
Still standing, man.
Still standing.
That's awesome.
Barely. Ready for a little hamburger break here in a minute.
Oh, you got some hamburger meat?
Snook in right up here in Marco.
Oh, that's where you're headed?
Tide's coming in, so I'm gonna ride the tide in and go have me a traditional halfway hamburger.
Sounds like a plan.
Keeps me going.
How you been doing today?
Good. You guys see any other trappers out?
Yeah, there's one guy that we passed him. He's in a kayak with a sail.
I saw him. I didn't know if he was. I saw him pull over. I thought maybe he was just out sailing his kayak.
No, he's in the group.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Yeah, where you were and we were, he was just up the beach a little bit.
There's the water tribe that didn't make it.
You missed the pass.
Missed the pass, lost his mast. Well, that's another gorgeous Everglades Challenge sunset. Monday night. And just getting ready to pull into Marco here. Getting pretty close. It's another mile or two to the restaurant. Burger time. Missing Josh. Shout out to Josh Collins, my burger buddy. 5:45. Getting ready to launch out of Goodland Boat Park. A nice night staying here, except for we didn't realize they had water sprinklers. So after we got in our tents and got all comfortable, sprinkler system kicked on for about 15 minutes. That was kind of interesting, but on note, if they're closed, the bathrooms are locked. That's no bueno. We'll figure it out. I'm on Camp Lulu Key. Had to stop for a minute, take care of some business. And the past Mike waking up, he's right out there. Probably can't see him, but he's within sight. And yeah, we're gonna probably paddle together a little bit today, at least into checkpoint 2, I guess. And then we'll see what happens after that. I think his plan calls for going back out, and I might stay in for a little while. I'm still formulating my plan. So nice morning, a little bit of side chop, but that's been the story of the whole trip, so can't say too much about that. Anyways, Camp Lulu Key. So I'm out here almost to Indian Key, and there's this little shortcut you can take, but it gets pretty shallow. So I took my fin out, and I'm just dragging the board by the leash. It's only about a 50-foot walk, but nice thing about having the QFR, you just pull that fin out. You don't have to flip the board over, so I don't have to unload the board. And I can just walk across here kind of cool little sandbar there, connecting two islands. So I got this island behind me, and then this island on the other side here. The sandbar connects the two of them. So it saves a quarter-mile paddling. Plus it gets me off the board for a minute so I can walk around a little bit. That's what a board looks like in the Everglades challenge. Got my laundry out back, my maps and junk up front, and a whole lot of water. Tough making progress right now. Got a pretty stiff headwind coming into Indian Key Pass here. It'll turn up there, so maybe it'll be nicer once I get up to the turn, but man, this part right here, give me some work. Chokoloskee Bay, checkpoint 2 in sight. But it's gonna be a long slog to get over there. Dead into the wind. Just taking my time. These waves are real big like this because the current's coming in and the wind's going out, so makes the waves higher. Makes them kind of triangle shape. But it's the same everywhere around me, so no gains that I can see right now to be made by going anywhere else. There's a bridge over there, but you still got an extra, it adds a lot of mileage. You go into that bridge and take it right, probably adds 2 miles though, so you still got to go across 1.5 miles of open water anyhow. So I ain't gonna lie to you, that was hard as hell. I gotta cross over here by the road. It's a lot flatter over here, not as windy. So I still gotta go to Chokoloskee over there, but I kind of made a lot bigger triangle just to cross as close as I could. I was working so hard, I thought I wasn't moving, but I looked over at the post and I could see that the trees were going the proper direction, so I knew I was making ground. So I decided to press across, plus it was a left-hand paddle, which is good because I've been paddling right most of the time, so that was nice. Now I just got to get it back over to checkpoint 2. It looks like it's about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away, something like that, but it should be easy paddling, so there is that. Thanks to the road for knocking the waves down and knocking the wind down. I got a nice little flat section up in here. So what you do when you get to the checkpoint is you sign the book. I gotta find my name in here. You're supposed to put the date, the time, and a pithy comment.
Yes, please.
And the date is, what day is it?
The 9th.
3/9. Man, these people were in at 3/7. Holy smokes. And it was 13/27. That wasn't easy. But it was fun. So that's goodbye to checkpoint 2. That's the Smallwood store over there, famous place. If you ever get down this way, you should check it out. Those are the last houses I'll see for a couple days now. Getting ready to head into the Everglades. I selected to do the outside route. The wind's supposed to die out tonight, so I'm gonna paddle all night long. I'm gonna paddle probably up until about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, I think. I don't know. Until I get good and tired anyway. But that wind's really supposed to taper off tonight. So I should be able to make some good progress down the coast and get to some campsite. There's plenty of campsites down through there, so that's not going to be a problem. Later on I'll check and see what the tide's doing on Shark River, because I want to hit the Shark River on a climbing tide, so that'll affect somewhat how long I rest for or where I rest. You definitely don't want to do the Shark when the tide is rising, because that's the Shark River and the Joe River, because there's a lot of current there you're working against. So anyways, got a little crosswind here, and I'll get over into the pass and I'll be out of that, heading downwind a little bit. Break time. Every 5 or 6 hours I like to take a good legitimate break. And since this island where I'm at, I'll show it to you in a minute, but really no getting off here, so I just put my board in the mud. I'm kicking back and just relaxing for a little bit. Been a hard day so far, and I got miles to go before I sleep. To quote a rather famous person. Mormon Pavilion Key's in the background back there. And here's the island I'm on. I don't know what the name of this island is. This is a little tiny thing. Tuesday night sunset. It's behind me and I can't really turn around because the water's too rough. I'll turn the camera around here in a second. Beautiful colors. Lots of turtles today. A couple of dolphins. A lot of wind. Let me see if I can get headed to the wind here a second. There's the sunset. Tuesday night. Sun's going down. Water's finally flattening out a little bit. Trying to make some progress. Trying to make Highland Beach by midnight, 11, 1 o'clock, something like that. Get up, get going at 7:30. Wednesday morning sunrise. Had a little change of plans. I had to take a rest. I was just beat. So I didn't paddle very late last night, but I got up early this morning and started going. And right when I was leaving, Mike Dunlop showed up with Jamie, the guy on the OC2. So it's kind of cool connecting with them. Mike's still in the game. They were going to take a nap, so he's back there on Mormon Key where I stayed. And then maybe sleep for a couple hours and then get going again. So we're still in the hunt. Beautiful morning. I don't know if you can see this, but there's got to be like 20 dolphins right here. They must have a big ball of bait schooled up or something. They're just coming up left and right. There's 4 or 5 of them right over by the sun there. I know you're not gonna be able to see them. I'm in about 2 feet of water at the most. And they're just having a party over here. It's like a buffet for dolphins. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. A couple there. And a couple of them over there. Might get lucky and they come up to me. There they go right there. There's 4 of them right there. I usually try to stay wide though when I see them feeding like that, because you don't want to mess them up. They spend a lot of time getting that school together. Now they're having a frenzy. Oh yeah, there's at least 10 of them in that little pack there. That's pretty cool. That's Highland Beach North. I think that's the prettiest part of the whole stretch. Problem is when the tide is out here, it's pretty shallow. Tide's in right now, so I got some depth. I can paddle along shore. Usually I have to be about a mile out that way. Previous trips, you see me complain about that. But boy, it looks like a nice place to camp. Oh, this is my first legit break of the day on Highland Beach. Just a pile of ocean bric-a-brac here. There's some sponge there, a pen shell, more sponge, more pen shell, a clam, horseshoe crab. I forget what that thing is. That's a pretty cool looking, little sneaky looking thing. It's not a snake for sure. Another nice big sponge right there. Just a cool tableau of ocean stuff. I seem to be in the middle of this flock of little sparrow-like birds. I don't know what they are, but they're just hundreds of them, just flying around, bombing each other, swooping down the water, zipping back and forth. Probably not going to show it too good on GoPro, but it's just a pretty awesome event. Just watching them and their aerial maneuvers. Still here by Highland Beach. It's a pretty long beach. Took a nice little break, and then we got 9 miles to Graveyard Creek and another 3 miles to Shark River, which is where I'm really trying to get by. Hopefully if I can make it there by 2, I'll still have a little bit of tide coming in. I'm hoping, or at least slack tide. And then I'm trying to make Joe River, Chickee, just to take another break. So, see how it goes. Beautiful out here though. So this is the very end of Highland Beach, South Highland. Still pretty nice place to camp. But man, looking at that Broad River crossing there, that doesn't look very happy. It's gonna be a workout. About a mile across, and it looks angry. So it'll be some work. I think I'm gonna change the name of the challenge. Instead of the Everglades Challenge 300, it should be the Everglades 300 Challenges. A little send-off here on this Broad River Challenge. There's about 10 more dolphins. So around there's one there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that, 6. Over here somewhere, 7. And one right there, 30 feet away. This is what people think of when you say offshore winds. They think it's going to all be like this. This part is nice. Wish there was more of it. This part's very nice. I got one more river mouth to cross, and then I'm going to be at Graveyard Creek. And I think that's going to be a tough spot again coming into Shark River there. I got a little shortcut I'm going to try. Not really a shortcut, but it'll get me out of the wind, hopefully. We'll just see when we turn a corner and looking down through there and see what it looks like. I got to go about a quarter mile up into the wind anyway to get to Graveyard Creek, so I might take Graveyard Creek, which gets me out of the bay, Ponce de Leon Bay. We'll see when we get there. Pretty nice here though. High tide, thank goodness. Lets me get right up to shore here where the flat water is. Saw a sailboat go by earlier. They're way out there, of course, in the wind. They're happy for the wind. I hate the wind. This is behind me. So I ducked into Graveyard Creek. Lots of birds in here. It looks like it's a little bit longer, but it's out of the wind, so I could use a break from the wind for a little bit. And especially that hard crosswind. And then I'll pop back out and I'll have to do some crossings to get into the Shark River. I have to cross a bunch of different. Shark River has got a huge mouth. There's, I don't know, probably 10 tributaries that come out. And it's not too hard to pick the right one. They're all pretty much the right one, but I'm trying to pick the one with the least amount of wind today. So I may have to eat a couple because once I get over to the other one, then I'll have less wind. It lets me get on down the bay before I pop out into Oyster Bay. Oyster Bay is gonna be nasty. Hoping to make South Joe River Chickee. That's the goal. Oh look, a nice little beach right here. Look at that. Be cool to see a croc in here. Pelicans. Map shows this going through. It looks pretty tight right here, so. Worst comes to worst, I'm gonna go back to Graveyard and wait for this tide to change. Maybe the wind will die off later on tonight too, but this is looking good enough so far. This is where I'm trying to route through. Normally I come in right here and go that way, but today I'm going to go over to here, come down through here and down through that right there just to get a little bit further down the bay, because I'm not going to Oyster Bay Chickee, which is where I usually go, which is off to the left over there. I'm going to go to Joe River, which is down this way. So a little bit of circling back and forth, or going a little bit longer route, but staying out of the wind as much as I can. It's crazy out there. That was a tough crossing. A lot of knee paddling, but it paid off. This is not the one I usually take, but it's a lot flatter right now. I can go up here and take a turn off of it, but worth the work. They're fighting the wind all day. Now I'm fighting the tide. But it is almost surreal how quiet it is in here, and I get to see a part of the Everglades never been to before, so that's kind of cool. This little left-hand channel here has got a little breeze coming out of it, but not too much. It's been pretty nice since I got off the Ponce de Leon Bay there. But I'm getting ready to come out into Oyster Bay here in a minute. I think it's gonna probably be whipped up still. You get a false sense of security when you're in these protected areas. You get back out in that open water and it's gonna be crap again. Not too often on the Everglades Challenge you get to do a little exploring, but today I called for it just because the wind was so hard in the open water that I decided to look at my map anew and see if I could find something that wasn't too far out of the way but was way out of the wind. So that's what I got. Unfortunately, the wind slowed me down this morning, so I was about 2 hours late getting to here. 2 hours ago the tide would have been running the other direction. Now I'd be having a nice ride, but right now it's just a slog. It's like down to 2.5 miles an hour. I got about another 4 miles to Joe River Chickee, and that's where I'm going to take a nice extended break. was right. The bay is whipped up. I got almost 3 miles to go. I think most of it's gonna be like this too. Like a little island I can duck behind up ahead there, but not much relief coming up. It's a pretty cool rainbow right there. It's like vertical. That's all you see of it, is like a little stripe. It's pretty wide though. It's awesome. No matter how tough the paddling is, don't forget to look for the rainbows. Sometimes it comes to this. Just gotta sit down and paddle a little bit, kayak style. Guess I should have my hands over the top if I'm doing kayak style. Got a hard crosswind, so I really don't need a kayak paddle because I'm only paddling on one side anyway. I don't need to paddle on the left at all. I think 90% of this trip so far has been paddling on the right. That's probably the biggest thing about getting ready for one of these things. Getting in shape where you can paddle on the same side for, well, going on 4 days now. Not easy, but if it was easy, we probably wouldn't do it. Oh, I want to take this time to shout out to my crew for keeping the shop running. For my mom, for always holding the power and holding me in the light and feeding me that dragon power. And especially to my wife, Betsy, who, I don't know how crazy she is to let me do this kind of stuff, but I sure do appreciate it. And to carry your picture right here so that I can always look down and give it a kiss every now and again. I got 2 of them actually. It's kind of a habit of mine. When I get into a tough spot, I give both those pictures a kiss. Just remember how lucky I am to have somebody support me. And also my daughter Larissa, who thinks I'm the craziest dad in the world. I probably am. At least I'm the craziest dad for her. She's an awesome woman and she's doing great things. And I'm proud of who she's become too. Also a big shout out to all those people out there on Facebook and Instagram who follow my adventures. Support me, support the shop. I appreciate that. Without you, I wouldn't be here, I don't think. My customers, my friends. And there's a lot of you out there that are special, and you know it. So I'm not gonna hurt somebody's feelings by forgetting them. I'm just gonna say that I do appreciate each and every person that I've come in contact with in my life for one reason or another. And I hope we can all learn together for the rest of our lives. And I hope that's a long time for all of us. Stay safe from the COVID. And I'm just waiting on my vaccine. Hopefully a couple of weeks or a couple of months, we get back to whatever normal is. At least I don't have to wear a mask all the time, maybe. Hopefully, anyway. But if I do, that's a small price to pay for health. Rainbow so far today. About that. That's gotta be a good sign. Got out of the worst of the wind. I'm in Joe River now. So it's a little bit breezy, but not quite as much, and there's not as much fetch, so there's no waves. I'm gonna go a couple more miles and get to Joe River Chickee and stop for a couple hours, rest, maybe take a nap. And decide about Flamingo from there. If the wind dies down, I'll shoot for Flamingo tonight. If the wind doesn't die down, I might just hang out at Joe River Chickee for a couple more hours, and then get up and do something early in the morning, like 2 o'clock or something. It was nice and flat every morning when I got up, so I'm thinking I should leave a little earlier, especially if I get to bed a little earlier. I've been sleeping more on this one than I ever have. Rest is important, for sure, but I don't know, it's just hard work. It's the hardest one so far, and so I need more rest. That's my story, I'm sticking to it. Like the sight of your favorite Chickee in the whole world, and it's wide open. That's awesome. This one's overlooked a lot, I think. Joe River. I think it's South Joe is like the first stop for a lot of people, and then Oyster Bay. This one's kind of in between, and I don't think people use it that much. Every time I come in here, it's empty. So it's a nice one though. It's protected like crazy. Stay here for a couple hours, wait for that tide to change, get a nap, do some maintenance, and move on. Well, it's another good day of paddling. Only did about 33 miles a day. Doesn't sound like much, but in this wind it was pretty rough. So looking forward to getting up about midnight. That current should shift and it'll be going the proper direction. And I'll paddle on into Flamingo, probably get in there in the middle of the night, and then maybe hang around for a couple hours till daylight, or maybe push on through. I don't know. We'll have to see when I get there. Hoping that wind dies down at night. If it does, I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'll probably try to get out into the Florida Bay a little bit. Otherwise, be a grunt tomorrow and Friday. I think it's going to take me 2 days to get across. 1 o'clock a.m. Getting ready to head out. Try to make Whitewater Bay. Hopefully, it doesn't sound like it's very windy out, so maybe I got lucky and the wind died down. Current should be with me, so that'd be nice. Battling that current last night was tough. Nice night on the Chickee, and looking forward to getting into Flamingo and formulating my plans for crossing Florida Bay. Probably get started today and finish up tomorrow. Double duty. Look who came to see me at checkpoint 3. Fourth time in a row. Never let me down. That's awesome. It's good to have support, especially this kind.
It's good I didn't get eaten by the coyotes last night.
Coyotes, yeah, or the crocodile.
No.
Watch that dog.
Coyotes.
There's a big crowd that stays right over there.
Oh yeah.
14-footer, yeah. Advertisement as well. So I just want to show people that you can do stuff like this.
Well, that's like Mark.
Yeah, yeah.
Jim promoted TI.
Exactly, yeah.
Why do you do this, Scott?
Because I'm stupid. Crazy. And for the stories. So that was fun seeing Betsy at Flamingo. Checkpoint 3 has been achieved. And now I have Florida Bay crossing to look forward to. Right now the wind is nice and light. There's actually flat patches out there. Sun's getting ready to come up. I'm sure the wind's going to pick up later on today. But I'll paddle as far as I can. And then if I have to, I'll just stop and bivouac for a little bit and wait for it to die down again tonight. So anyways, we're going to make it across this thing. Hopefully. The thing about the Everglades Challenge is just because you made checkpoint 3 doesn't mean you're going to finish. A lot of people didn't make it from here to the finish line last year, so never take Florida Bay for granted. There you go. There's your beautiful Florida Bay sunrise. Flat water. Please stay that way for a while. Please, please, please. There's a flock of ibis. There's a couple of roseate spoonbills, and it is definitely low tide. There's an island out there right now, so I have to do my zigzag route. I like it better when I come in here at high tide because I can just go directly across everything, but you ain't getting across mud flats, not easily. There's a couple of manatees over there. I think they're mating. Unfortunately, I have to stay in the channel. I can't get out of it. Trying to give them enough clearance. Yeah, they're tangling around over there. Of course, I would have to have the wind and the tide against me going out of here. Look at that current ripping around that post there. Partly it's from the wind, but it's also tide going out. Yeah. It's a stingray fishing in the flats. That's pretty cool. Hard to believe it's the same place. 3 hours ago was flat. 10:45, the wind turned on. Oh well, gotta get to Key Largo. Well, I decided I'd had enough torture for now. I pulled in here to my favorite little spot from last year, Rankin Key. Really protected campsite here with a fairly soft landing and a nice place to spread the tent out of the wind. And we're gonna see, we're gonna go on hold for a couple hours here. I'm gonna take a nap and see if this doesn't die down tonight. If it dies down tonight, I'll go ahead and cross tonight. I'm not gonna go out at night in this stuff. There's no sense in that. If it still looks like that at night, I'll spend the night and then I'll just have to dig it out as much as I can tomorrow. It's supposed to be a little lighter tomorrow. The forecast was like 23 today and 17 tomorrow. It doesn't sound like a big difference, but that's huge. It's enough difference that it's manageable. I just paddled 5 miles. Was it 5 miles? Hell, it wasn't even 5 miles. It's 3.5 miles. It took me about 2.5 hours to paddle 3.5 miles. This is ridiculous. I got 28.5 for the day in 12.5 hours, so that's not great. Or no, I'm sorry, 12, almost, yeah, like 11.5 hours. So that's not very fast. Look at that storm approaching there. Might be oh, some of that is that darker in the background. That's the forest fire. They're doing a control burn. That looks like it could get pretty interesting there. So maybe it's a good thing I'm holed up here for a little bit and just get unpacked, and there's a nice spot right up there where I can do that. Apparently this is where horseshoe crabs go to die, on Rankin Key, Rankin File. It's pretty nice little high ground here. I slept here last year. Try to find something flat. There's some salt flats in there, but I think that comes up and gets wet sometimes, so I'm not going to go back that far. Usually I just stay right here by the edge. This stuff's actually pretty soft to sleep on. Scott's Sweat Lodge. I was hoping for a place in the shade, but there really wasn't anything available. It's all black mangroves. They have these little roots that poke up out of the ground. So I'm out here in the sun. Hopefully my tent will give me enough shade that I can get some rest. I'm gonna take about a 5-hour nap or so. Get up and check on the wind. If it flattens out, I'll paddle across the bay at night. But if it's not flat, I'm not paddling out there at night because it's just too dangerous. I'll just have to do double time tomorrow and figure it out, or I'll finish Saturday. wind's quiet. It's 12:30. It's been quiet now for a couple hours. So I'm gonna make an island hop and move here. So hopefully I can get moving down towards Key Largo. Either that or I'm turning around and heading back to checkpoint 3, calling it a day. But been saving this for a while. I'm gonna do epic shit. You gotta eat epic shit. So it's time for some epic shit. So I'm here at the bottom end of Lake Key. So far I got 15 miles in this morning and the wind gods have been smiling on me. Sun's coming up and I got another 5 miles crossing to go to the Swash Keys. Then after that it's only about 3 miles. So this is my last major crossing. So hopefully this wind stays light like it is. It's manageable. It's kind of flat right here, but it's a little lumpy when you get in the middle. But this is a nice sandbar here that would make a great campsite if you ever needed it. Just one more slog after this. This is the long one though, and then I got about a 2-mile slog at the end. About a mile in between where it's kind of flat. Sun's come up really good now. Beautiful colors here with the turquoise water and the sun off the water and everything. Clouds. That antenna up in front of me is what I'm headed for. There's a gap right between 2 islands. I shoot through that gap and I'm kind of in protected waters for a little bit till I come up the other side of that little ring of islands there. And then it's just a little cross and I'll be done. So it's looking like I'm gonna finish now. I'm starting to think like I'm gonna finish, but Florida Bay has a way. You just never know. There's people that have gotten pretty close and not finished, so I don't count my chickens until I'm pulling off to the beach. On 5 miles. Hard to believe sitting over here in the lee of this island here. Water's flat, the birds are chirping, no waves. I just crossed 5 miles of hell to get here. So this is Swash Keys. I think it's about 3 miles to finish. I'd take a break for a minute, get my sunscreen on, all that stuff, and reset everything. Been a great race so far. Hoping I finish. It's getting pretty close, looking like it. Wanted to show y'all something here. This is pretty cool. I figured this out. I brought this accordion mattress pad, right? And for sleeping on. And I thought for using as a seat, but I also use it for a seat on the boat, on the board. And I got this water bag here. It's a 2-gallon water bag. It's all filled up with air and I can lean against that. So now I got like a kayak seat kind of thing. The other nice thing about this is when I'm kneeling, I can rest my ankles here and my feet. There's no weight on my toes. In the past, I've had too much weight on my toes. I've lost toenails because I've been sitting on my toes for like, you know, 4 or 5 hours in a row. So it's kind of a cool setup. And I got it backed up by my halite bag full of air too, so that when I lean against that, it's got a good backrest. So yeah, the halite bag's awesome stuff. I can't say enough good things about it. It's got the zipper that goes all the way over both sides, so you can really get in it good. I wish they made a front bag. I'm using this Yeti front bag here. It's got, one of the things I like about it is it's a backpack, but I just tied the straps off so I can still use it as a backpack. But one of the things I like is that the zipper goes all the way from one side all the way around the other, so you can open most of it up and get easy access. You don't have to root around for stuff. I hate rooting around for stuff. You know, it's just frustrating to me. So I like to be able to just open that wide up and get inside of it. And a few more minutes of rest here, and then I'm going to take on the last stretch and see if I can't make it into the finish line. Last little peaceful place before I start the final 2 miles to the finish. 2 miles of pure hell. Not like this, that's for sure. This is a Swash Key. This is a cool little spot to go paddling. It's fairly easy access from the highway, and you can usually find a place that's out of the wind if you can get in here. On a day like today, I wouldn't recommend too many sane people going out, but that's just all I need to say about that. Hope Mikey's doing all right. Last I saw he was in Flamingo when I left this morning from Rankin Key, so hopefully he's progressing along the bay. He's probably having a heck of a time out there. Florida Bay will lull you in with her flat water introduction, but boy, she don't like to let you go. Once you're in, you're in. I'm getting out of here. 2 more miles. Four times! I am Conchistador! Outstanding, yeah! All right, Scott. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations. Welcome to paradise, sir.
No thanks.
Nope, you're good.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Don't do it, thanks. How y'all doing?
The question is, how are you doing?
Good.
Hey, good.
Good, yeah, it was tougher than last year, but the last day wasn't as tough as the last day last year, so yeah, I got lucky.
He's making a habit of this.
Yeah, he's getting teeth.
Look at those teeth.
Wow.
Teeth and claws. You guys all need to try the Minnesota race sometime. It's pretty freaking awesome. I learned something this year, that you can't race this race according to your schedule. You have to have your schedule according to the race. You know, and Florida Bay will lure you in with calm waters. She will hold on to you for all she's worth. Now we still got one more paddleboarder out there, right? He's not too far away, about 6 miles out. After this is over, I'm going to go back and escort him back. We're going to try to get him, do what it takes to get him back here, because he's tried. This is his 3rd time. He's going to finish this year.
He's gonna make it.
Thanks everybody for all your support along the way. It's great running into people in the middle of the night and getting words of encouragement and chatting a little bit. It's always fun to see who's out there. Thank y'all so much. See you next year.
Well done, Mike.
3 years.
Third time's a charm.
Finally got that paddle and that tooth.
Thank you. I'm a stinky boy.
You're all
I'm gonna let
stinky.
Josh go to my
You're all
voicemail
stinky.
now.
I'm used to stinky.
He decided to call me back. He had better things to do.